What's up, everybody? This is Ricky Haro. I'm the race director for Tartarus Backyard Ultra. Super psyched to actually still have this going on. First and foremost, I just want to shout out to everybody that's just been affected by the fires. I know some of you have messaged and said that you're still in evac mode and all of that, and they're trying to make that happen along with make it to the race. And I just want to let you know that we're all here with you, and the community's here with you as well. Definitely want to support you as best as we can in this time. Um, as you all know, I think the park and recs folks just put out an announcement yesterday about the parks being closed indefinitely. We try to get ahead of that notice by reaching out to a couple different places that we had as backups. And the Forest Service came through in a big way for us, which is not, it's not usually like that. But Rick Hall at the Forest Service is our forest liaison for the survival school, but also our Forest Service liaison for Conixu Ultras for the race that we put on in June. Stepped up in a big way, really helped us out, got us permitted within a day to do this and run this up at Crater Lake, and that's where we're going to be. I'm actually really excited for that. Uh, there was a lot of unknowns with Camp 7, um, just in the way that things were. I won't get into too many details with that, but as you know, the Spokane complex fire is obviously complex, right? The only place that didn't burn was our area that we actually run Tartarus in. But with that said, it was very central to a lot of two other fires, both on the north and kind of south of that. But then also the fire that really ripped into the Spokane area in a couple of different ways. So I envisioned Camp 7 essentially just being the headquarters for fire. Um, and anyways, the we're now in Crater Lake. I'm actually really stoked about this. I've had a backyard ultra mapped out for this area for a really long time. It mirrors a lot of bigs in terms of the trail, in terms of elevation gain, things like that. So um, I'm really stoked about it. I'll get into the race briefing here real quick and give you all some ins and outs here. Let me just get this pulled up. We are we are in the screen now. All right, so schedule of events for Tartarus. Everything is pretty much the same. Friday, August 14th, which is this upcoming Friday, the Racer Corral the area will be set up and blocked off starting at around noon. I would say that you can come in and set up your camp and set up your own little area around that racer corral around 3 p.m. And one of the things that I'll caveat with this is I sent out two other messages. I would say this right here is what you want to go hard and fast off of. So the racer corral will be set up at around noon. It'll be blocked off. You can come in, set up your camp around that racer corral around 3 p.m. onward. You'll be able to view the course at roughly 6:30 p.m. I will be in this area, but I will be at the start finish racer corral at around 6:30 to give you all kind of some briefing if you need it. You can pick up your race bib at that point in time. The course will be viewable at 6:30 and onward from then on out. There will be dry camping in the area. I would say prepare for that. The parking lot at Crater Lake is really big, and there's no special instructions around what we're going to do there. I will give you kind of the layout in this briefing, but what I will say is that you can camp, you can car camp, you can do all that stuff inside of the parking lot starting on Friday and go from there. On Saturday, we will have bib pickup starting at 7. There will be a racer briefing and crew briefing at 7:30. The race will start at 8 o'clock. Um, I will have other crew question and answer sessions happening as soon as we let or as soon as we let the racers go at 8. I will have another quick little crew question and answer kind of thing right after the start of that. So as soon as they take off inside of the racer corral, we'll just kind of corral up and have a quick little question and answer there. For those of you that don't know where Crater Lake is at, you can Google in Google Maps or any other mapping software, just put in Crater Lake Snow Park area, and this will give you and allow you to navigate straight to the spot. It's right in between a little town called Tiger, which is most likely where you'll drive through. When you come up through Spokane, you'll come through Tiger, you'll go up a really big hill, and then right at the top of that hill, will be the Crater Lake Snow Park exit area. But it sits between two key features. One is Tiger, and as you drive up that highway up the big hill, you'll hit Crater. If you continue on about another 5 miles, you'll hit the Beaver Lodge Resort. If you hit the Beaver Lodge Resort and you came in from Spokane through Tiger, you went way too far. Turn around and go back. You can't miss this. So some site considerations here. There are dispersed camping. It's a national forest, so there is dispersed camping all over the area. You can access that stuff at any point in time. So if you're coming in from out of town and you're driving in with a camper or whatever that might be, there is a lot of dispersed camping. In the email that I will send out with this, there will be a link to a dedicated campsite that we're permitted for. It's just right down the road by a couple of minutes. Um, you can start camping at the parking lot area, car camping, things like that, starting Friday afternoon. So if you want to just drive in, you can set up a tent in some of the other areas kind of around the parking lot. And you can definitely camp right inside of the racing corral if you'd like, with your 10 by 10 or any of that stuff. So that's all good to go. There is no electrical or drinking water at Crater Lake, so be prepared for that. Be able to bring in enough water that's going to supply you as much as you need. I will be bringing in jerry cans of water. I'll be hauling that in from the Beaver Lodge, but I'll have some that are full. We'll have a ice cooler dispenser for water and things like that. But I would say be self-sufficient and be self-reliant. With that, it takes me a while to get down to Beaver Lodge and get that set up. So I'll probably only be doing that kind of run maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the day. Plan for hot days and really cold nights. That area up there can still get up to the mid 90s during the day and then drop down into the low 40s at night. So just be prepared for those temperature fluctuations as you see fit. I'll have a couple Starlink units up there. I would just say that we need to use that sparingly. Use it to be able to message in and out, message with people, but don't do it to stream, live stream and things like that. Just use that as sparingly as possible. There are resources inside of the Beaver Lodge. The Beaver Lodge, there's a restaurant. It's usually open on the weekends, starting on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They usually serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. It's a pretty good eats. There is a small kind of grocery canteen type of thing that's there. It's just got basic kind of camping amenities. There's beverages, there's all that kind of stuff. If you're needing to maybe find something for your runner, if you're a crew, or if you're a crew and you just want to go zip down and get a burger or something like that, or get breakfast, they're usually very quick to make the stuff. So that's good. If you're wanting to make a call or anything like that and you can't do it through Starlink, if you zip back down the hill to Tiger, Washington, which is right at the very base where you turn to come up, you can start to get coverage about halfway down that hill. So that's kind of the nearest cell coverage that you've got. In terms of groceries and gas and stuff like that, Ione, Washington has, which is about 10 and a half miles away. They've got basic grocery store there. They also have gas there. There's a small little coffee stand that's also there that you can make a quick little turnaround within the hour. If your runner is needing more stuff, extra socks or something that you guys forgot, nutrition if you ran out, which has happened in the past. That's why we're bringing it up. Colville, Washington is going to be your biggest bet. There is a runner store there. There is a Super Walmart. There's a North 40 Outfitters that's there. That's kind of a bigger outdoor type of store. They've got gas. That's about 30 miles away. It's about 25-minute drive time there and back, is another 25. So you might make it back at the top of the hour. You might not. So just make sure that you have your runner set up if you're crew and you're doing this, that you've got your runner set up to be able to go out on its next lap, without you being there. Okay, so setting up at the Crater Lake Snow Park, it's a huge parking lot area, like I said before. Just some things to consider that I want to get you well aware of ahead of time. The area that you see in the big red block, that is where we're going to ask folks to set up your parking. That can also be like the crew camping area if you want to set up something away from the racer corral. I would say, this tree line that's just below where these kind of two darker blue dots are, that's a wooded area that's relatively flat. There are some decent smaller camping areas. If you're bringing in an RV or a camper van or anything like that, I would say go ahead and park on that side of the parking lot. Leave this upper part of the parking lot for runners. The runners will be doing a small little measured out and back before they go onto the trail. Also, the ruckers will do that. So just kind of keep that in mind. The yellow box area is the runner corral space. That is where the 10 by 10 tents can go. That is where crew support can stay, all that kind of stuff. And inside of that will be the racer corral, finish, start and finish. Like I said before, there's going to be a small little out and back for runners. So runners, you'll start in the finish line area. You will run out in the direction of that green arrow. You'll hit a runners on road sign. You'll go around that. You'll come back through the finish line area, and you will head out where you kind of see on the map right there where it says a vault toilet. There's a little trail that will go out along the lakeside there. From there, it's kind of a little lollipop. So you'll start on the bottom part of the lollipop. You'll do it out and back for runners. You will come back and join up with the rucker route. You'll go around the lake and you'll come back through this little boat dock area and into the parking lot and finish in the finish line. So that is kind of the start finish setup for you as you go there. So some last minute little ROEs. If you're not familiar with the Backyard Ultra, courses are measured out to the best of our ability. With this particular course, I've got this laid out and very dialed as much as possible. We will slack up any short distance with the little lollipop section as well as the section on the road to make sure that it is the 4.1667 mile marker there for the runners. Your elevation gain is going to be 330 feet. For ruckers, you're going to have a loop around the lake that will measure out at a roughly 2.4 miles. I'll give you more exact when I get out there. The elevation gain for that right now is at 173 feet. The starting corral will be measured to fit the field. It'll be the same size throughout the entire event. You must be in the corral at the top of at the bell, essentially at the top of the hour. The way that we start things off is we start every hour on the hour. I'll give you a 3-minute warning. I'll give you a 2-minute warning. I'll give you a 1-minute warning with some updates that are very quick. All competitors need to be in the corral at the bell, and they also need to be out and moving out of moving out. We call loops yards. So you'll hear probably loop or you'll hear yard. They're kind of interchangeable terms. You have to be in the corral, like I said, at the top of the hour. You have to be leaving at the bell. Except for restrooms, you cannot leave the course. If I go back to this map, these blue dots that you see on the left and right side of the runner corral, will be where there are toilets, and there will be the vault toilet that you can access. So anytime you're out on course, you should be able to leave and immediately hit the toilet, and you should be able to go out this way, hit a toilet, and on the way back in, you should be able to hit a toilet. No non-competitors on course. Make sure you let your crews know that. I will say, and I will give permission to folks to go find their runner if they're out of the hour. And usually I just have folks and crew go backwards and trace backwards to find their runners. If there's a yard or two and you don't hear from them, you are more than welcome. Just let me know and I'll give you permission to do that. There's no personal aid during the yard. So as soon as I say go, that is when no personal aid happens, right? Whatever you have in your hand, when I say go, you need to carry with you all the way through. So even though you're going back through the corral, you can't drop stuff off. You can't pick stuff up when you go. No artificial aid out on the course. That's comms, cell to cell, radios, things like that. No trekking poles for this particular course on hand. Um, if you're a slower runner, just allow the passes to happen. There's going to be an out and back that you're going to have. And on that out and back, the trail is fairly wide. But, if you're hearing somebody say on your left or on your right, just kind of step aside, let them pass through if you're a slower runner. In terms of winner and results, just realize that this is the last person standing event, with the exception of the Backyard 24. You're putting a DNF on the line. The winner is the last person to complete a loop. And if two races start, but only one goes out, the race must complete that final loop. Your racer must complete that final loop to go out. They don't necessarily have to go out on another one to do that. There can be no winners. So a racer can go out on that last loop that they're on solo, if possible, and not make it back in time. And there is no winner. Last things I want to hammer home. I don't think this is going to be in effect for this particular course, but the way that we define artificial aid is going to be things like cooling vests, fans that are on you, anything that's battery operated that's trying to cool you down is not going to be at play. Now, that doesn't say that you can't put ice on your back. You can't, the handkerchiefs with the ice and stuff like that. You can definitely go out with that. But in terms of actual cooling vests designed to cool you. Those are things that we aren't allowing on the course. Trekking poles, definitely not allowed. Like I said before, radios, any kind of communication between crews is not allowed. For crews, some advice that I would give to you is definitely try to be in shifts if you can. Usually no more than 1 to 3 people. I would say crewing you is key. Any more than that gets to be a little bit complicated, but if you're running in shifts, then, definitely make that in schedule. There's plenty of parking area for you to find some private space if you're a crew and you want to back off and maybe camp and have one person in play, or just walk in and handle that runner in the racer corral setup area that you've set up, maybe just specifically for the runner. And then you want to set something up outside. There's plenty of space to be able to do that. So feel free to make that happen. Like I said, camping and stuff like that is allowed outside of the corral, and you can definitely set up your space around those particular areas to do so. Inside of the racer corral, I want you to think that you have essentially a 10 by 10 area around the racer corral. If you think that you're only going to go out and you're only going to do maybe 5 or 6 hours, I would say maybe stay away from the racer corral and give the people that are here for the silver ticket, people that are here that are going to be a lot longer, let them set up closer to the corral, which gives them the ability to not have to be moving all the time. Let's just give those people preference closer, and then as we build that out, let's kind of build in from there. Um, the Racer Corral energy is as big as you guys make it. Like your little area is as built up as you want to build it up. So some people come with a chair and a couple coolers. Some people come with a 10 by 10 shade tent, and they've got walled in size. They've got camp stoves. They got everything ready to go. You set that up, you bring the resources that you need in order for you to be successful in this race. And that said, that is all I have for the racer brief. I'm super excited to get out there. I know that we are running at this, last minute in terms of this particular site. We've run at this site for probably 12 years now, at different events here. This is not a new site to us, so I know a lot of the ins and outs of this particular area as well as resources. So if you have any questions, or anything like that, please feel free to just let me know, even while we're out there on the course. I'll be out there first thing Friday morning, getting everything kind of set up and ready to go. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my contact information inside of this particular meeting. And with that said, looking forward to seeing you all, and I can't wait to get this going. And I look forward to many sleepless nights in the future next weekend. We'll see you.